My name is Rita, and I'm an educator for Trinity Beauty Academy. And today I'm going to demo square line haircut. But before we get into that, I want to describe there's three different line of haircut. First is known as the round line, which is short in the front and longer in the back and gives it that rounder effect. Our second is a triangular line, which is longer in the front and shorter in the back, which we also known as the A-line haircut. Our last, what I'm about to demo soon, is our square line haircut, which is straight across and parallel to the floor. Now before we get into that, let's discuss the tools that's needed to start this. As you can see over here, I have my cotton comb, I have my shears, I have my clips, I have my water bottle filled, an extra towel, and of course our mannequin. Now as you can see, I already have my mannequin prepped. I did a basic shampoo and conditioner. Now make sure before a haircut that's evenly damp so you can get great results. If it's oversaturated, what would happen is the water will weigh down the hair and you won't get great results. If it's too dry, just make sure you saturate as you proceed the cut. Now you already see it's already prepped and sectioned. And the reason I section it is because we're going to be moving across and side by side on this cut. So I part right in the middle from front to back. I left about 1 inch on a diagonal part. Now there's three approaches on creating a line with this cut. So let me just explain. One is fingers to skin, which will give maximum tension. This is for shorter and for fine hair. Second is utilizing our comb and using the comb as a guideline. And third is utilizing our fingers, and that's for more longer and thicker hair, and that's parallel to the floor. So which method we're going to use today is the last one I discussed, which is using our fingers parallel to the floor, only because we're not going to cut too much today, and it's a longer texture hair we're dealing with today. Now, before we start, the reason why it's on a diagonal part is to maintain the corners so that we don't create a hole in the haircut. So let's discuss the comb first. In the nape area, we're going to utilize the finer teeth of the comb. Now throughout the haircut, we're going to utilize this whole comb, wide and fine. The wide, we're going to start in the crown area when the curve of the head starts and we get higher on top of the head. So we're going to start from the center of the nape on the finer teeth of the comb. Now, if you feel it's getting dry, all you have to do is do a light mist. So we're going to establish our guideline now. Again, we're going to start from the center and down, less tension. Now, we're going to create our guideline. Now, once we create that guideline, we can move right to left. It's up to you. If you're a lefty, you can go from center to left, or you could go center to right. So now that I established my guideline, I can see where I'm going to. And what's so good, if you get distracted or you get lost, you go right back into the center of the nape. You find your guideline, and as you can see, my fingers are parallel to the floor, and I'm moving to the right into the corner. Now I'm going to go back into the center, find my fresh guideline, and as you can see, I'm moving to the left. Now you start from the middle and out. We're going to keep consistent. Okay, now we're going to take a thin slice of section, same parting, diagonal. What we do in the right, we must do in the left. Now again, I said thin so we're able to see our guideline. If it's too thick, you won't be able to find your guideline. Again, if you feel like it's dry, a light mist. We're still using the fine teeth of the comb. We start back from the center and we're going to find our guideline parallel to the floor. I'm going to move to my right Look for that guideline. Back to the center. And I'm moving to my left. Now don't worry, practice makes perfect. If you get frustrated, just take your time. Now, how do we know when to stop? We're gonna get to the tip of the ear, and that's when we know we're at our last section, which would be around our occipital bone. Now what we do in the right, we must do in the left. Keep consistent, clean parts. Again, we're going to look for our guideline. Start from the center, less tension on the fine teeth comb, and we cut. I'm moving to the right. Now remember, our comb and part and scissors move as a team. They work together. So we're moving up on top of the head. We're continuing parting. And now we're around the occipital bone where we're getting to our last section. Which is where the head starts to curve. So once we get to the top, things are going to start changing now. Again, from the center, parallel to the floor, cut, keep moving to the right. Go back in the center, find your guideline. And keep consistent and clean. All right, now we're gonna flip the comb. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our client a little bit straight up. Now we're gonna start cutting parallel to the floor on the right side. So what we're gonna do at this part, we're gonna take a nice clean slice. Things are gonna change a little bit. I'm gonna show you guys this technique around your client's ear. Tap and release. So again, we're starting from the center and out we're going. Never out into the middle. You're gonna keep it clean, keep it consistent. So again, if it's wet, light mist. So at this point, we're gonna find our guideline. Keep your fingers parallel to the floor and keep moving out. Now, when you get to your client's ear, you're gonna pull down that hair down. At this point, you're gonna release tension on the top and the bottom, and then cut. We will do that technique in the next section again. Another thin section. Again, from the center and out. Keep it clean and consistent, guys. Again, from center and out. Parallel fingers, parallel to the floor. Now we get to the ear again, your client's ear. Pull down that hair with some tension with the wider teeth of the comb now, guys. And tap. Release that tension. And cut. Move forward. Find that guideline, as you can see, and cut. Now, try to be gentle on how you're holding the comb. Not too hard where you change the line or you leave a bevel in the line. So you gotta keep you practice will make perfect. You'll see as you go. We're taking another slice and we're working our way on top. As you can see, the head is starting to curve. This is where the wide teeth of the comb comes to play. Again, if it gets dry, a light mist, center and out. Find that guideline, fingers parallel to the floor, and cut. Follow the hair pattern. Again, over the ear. Hold that hair down, a light tap, top and bottom, and cut. Let's take another section. We're almost done with this side. And exactly how you do the right, you would do the left the same way. Let's find that guideline. Parallel to the floor. Again, on top of the ear, we'll try this technique again. Pull down with some tension, and this will loosen up the tension on top and bottom of the ear. Now we're at our last section. So this section is getting just a little dry. So I'm just gonna a light spritz. All right. Let's find the guideline. Keep moving forward. Again, center and out. Your client's ear. We're going to do the release, top, bottom, and move forward. We are done with the right side. So as you can see, we created that line there. So now, what we did on the right, we have to do absolutely the same thing on the left. It's a little dry, so let me just spritz it. So we're gonna take a thin section straight across. And we're going to do the tap and release on this side. Again, we're going to find our guideline in the curve. Keep it straight, parallel, center, and out. Client's ear, hold it down. Tap on top, tap on bottom just to release that tension and cut forward. Again, you don't want to take thick sections because you want to be able to see your guideline. Make sure lines are clean, precise. It helps everything out. Again, straight down, wider teeth we're using. Fingers are parallel. Find your guideline. Again, our technique. tap and release and cut. Look for that guideline. We're getting to the top. Let's find that guideline. Parallel to the floor. When you get to your client's ear, tap and release. And cut. We get to our last section. Let's spray. Now after we're done, we're gonna do a little cross check. You always want to make sure you didn't miss anything. Tweaking, dusting at that point, and you're gonna move forward. You get to your client's ear again, and you're gonna do your tap and release. And we are done creating our square line haircut. Now, you just want to double check and make sure you didn't miss anything. So at this point, I'm just going to over direct and bring everything back and see if everything's intact. So it's getting a little dry on me, and that's actually normal because we're at the finish line. So again, I'm not cutting, I'm not recutting, I'm just dusting, just to see any loose ends. Make sure your client is nice and straight and up, and at this point, again, we're always gonna start from the center. If we get lost, you always go back. Again, I'm just looking if any long hairs. I'm not creating a new line. I just want to see if I missed any long strands, which looks good. It's okay if you don't have none. Actually better, but we're human, so sometimes, you know, there's human error. All right, guys. So now she is actually done, Miss Erica. With our square line, we are done with our wet face, and it looks great. Now let's recap. Let's do a little TSA now, which is our technique, shape, and action. So our technique we did today was utilizing our fingers parallel. Our shape was obviously a square, and the action we took was creating a square line haircut. And we learned how to control the comb, keep it nice, clean, and precise. On your parting, we understand why we have to do a diagonal, and we learned the tools that's needed for this. So remember, guys, practice makes perfect, and you'll eventually master it. I hope you enjoyed that. See you soon. Bye.